What are the first wheels you think about when you think about Japanese wheels? The ultra-lightweight TE37s, the race-inspired Meister S1 3P? What if I told you that while those wheels are great and all, there was another Japanese wheel brand, a less-known wheel brand, that makes lighter, stronger, and heck, maybe even cooler wheels than the first ones that jump into your head? Now what if I told you that these guys are one of the biggest companies in Japan and had been flying under your radar this whole time? That's right, baby. Today we're talking about the biggest boys in Japanese wheel manufacturing, Weds Wheels. Weds as a brand makes some of, in my opinion, the coolest wheels on the market, but hasn't achieved a ton of market penetration in the US yet. In Japan, their wheels are some of the most popular, and that's for good reason. Before we get into the history of Weds, if you've got a set of their wheels or any wheels on your car, add it to our vehicle gallery, and please help us out by hitting that subscribe button down here somewhere to stay up on all of our content. Now let's get into it. Weds was founded 60 years ago back in 1965 in Osaka and was originally a parts production and distribution systems designer for new car accessories to Nissan. Things were going well, and in November of '73 they acquired the wheel division of Nippon Sealant Company and changed their company name to Weds Company Limited. They also moved to Tokyo at this time. Little known fact here, Weds is actually short for World Elster Distribution System. You may be asking, what does this mean? Well, I have no idea either, but it's a cool bit of trivia. Fast forward to 1977 and Weds manufactured their first three-piece wheel. Now this is a contentious bit as both SSR and Weds, and also BBS, claim to have made the first three-piece wheel, but from what I can find, while SSR was technically first with the Mark I, Weds made the first three-piece wheel that is recognizable as such, similar to the modern three-piece wheels that we have today. Who actually did it first is anyone's guess, but here we are. Then just a few years later, Weds launched WedsSport, which is going to be the primary focus of what we're talking about here today. WedsSport launched a new chapter in Weds Wheels history as it marked the start of their involvement in motorsports, which would be pivotal for the company's growth and success going forward. Weds jumped head-on into motorsport, developing wheels for the GT300 and GT500 classes, time attack racing, circuit racing like JGTC, drifting, and rally racing, being an early wheel partner for many race teams in these series, which they have continued even through present day. Weds founded a long-term partnership with Team Bando, becoming Team WedsSport Bando Racing, who are a contender in the Japanese Super GT series, which are some very, very serious race cars, only a couple steps under F1. Currently, Bando Racing campaigns a Toyota 86 in GT300 and a Lexus LC500 in the GT500 classes. Anyway, after Weds started investing heavily in motorsports, they grew and grew and grew, adopting the race on Sunday, sell on Monday model, and in 1997 they became a publicly traded company. Huge for any company, but especially for something as niche as a wheel brand. Throughout this time, Weds also diversified and became involved in a ton of industries: automotive retail, mobile phone sales, industrial machinery sales, heck, even a welfare facility for the elderly. But most notably in 2006, they established Superstar Company Limited, entering the three-piece wheel market for modern vehicles. This is probably the Weds wheels you know, making lines like Weds Kranze, Leon Hardrit, and Lotio Drive. Well, as time passed, Weds continued their growth, acquiring other companies and growing not only in the aftermarket but also as an OE manufacturer, making the factory wheels for many Japanese automakers. Weds Today is a behemoth of a wheel company, making everything from some of the lightest aftermarket wheels out there to the factory wheels for your favorite car and everything in between. Now that we know who they are, let's get into what makes them so great. Weds makes a ton of wheels across a bunch of different lineups. Here in the States, they have a smaller presence, so we get the Kranze, Maverick, Leon Hardrit, and WedsSport lines. But in Japan, they make a bunch more wheel lines to serve various submarkets, like daily drivers, off-roading, and everything in between. Since we're in the States, and you probably are too if you're watching this video, shout out our international audience though, we're gonna focus on what we get over here. Jumping headfirst into the cool stuff, the multi-piece stuff, the stuff you're here for, we've got Kranze and Leon Hardrit. We all know these from their vintage wheels, the LXZ, the Vishnu, the Orden. Well, Weds knows that too, and guess what? They relaunched a ton of those wheels, which, by the way, you can order from our site, linked down below. Now expect to shell out some serious cash for these bad boys, but they're three-piece wheels. You expected that. Come on, big baller, shot caller, throw those 20-inch Ordens on the Impala. Expect to spend about $1,000 a wheel on these, which isn't too bad all things considered for three-piece wheels, brand new in box, all forged, but still, definitely a couple bucks. Now some cool stuff from the modern Weds lineup that I'm pretty into is the Marsiv, which is like a Vishnu Part 2 reimagined, the Zildan, which look funky and cool, the Bazria V2, which you probably guessed it from the name, they're Bazrias, how can you not like these? And rumor has it the LXZ might be making a comeback too. Weds also makes the Maverick lineup, which is basically a more budget-conscious two-piece line that are still really cool wheels, but slot in way less in price than the three-piece options. These are going to run you right around $2,000 to $2,500 for a set of 18s, which in my opinion for a forged two-piece wheel, again, isn't all that bad. Now some standouts here are going to be the classic 709M, which is a super OG looking mesh wheel, the 905s, which are a wide split 5-spoke, and the 1613M, which is a hyper mesh wheel. Now last and certainly not least, and really the whole point of this video, the WedsSport lineup. WedsSport is one of our top brands, and that's for a good reason. These are some serious lightweight, budget-friendly wheels that look great and perform even better. WedsSport wheels use a manufacturing technology called design die press forging, which involves heating a billet cylinder to 480 degrees Celsius, then compressing it with a 9,000-ton press, then forming the barrel using a spinning process. This creates a seriously lightweight and strong wheel, but without some of the cost otherwise associated with a forged wheel. As a result, WedsSport can bring their flow-formed models to market for around $1,900 a set, and their forged models like the TC105X for around $2,400. You might be saying, Jake, this is still super expensive for a set of wheels, but when it comes down to it, you're paying for decades and decades of racing history and technology making its way onto your street or weekend warrior track wheels. That's not to say these are all show and no go though. The TC105X is one of the lightest wheels on the market. Yes, lighter than RPF1s and very comparable to TE37s for half the price. If you're serious about going fast, WedsSport wheels might be the ones for you. Now they also come in some awesome colors, my personal favorite being BLC or Blue Light Chrome, which is a black chrome looking wheel with blue windows. Weds is the only manufacturer to do this finish and it looks awesome. So there you have it. Everything you need to know about Weds wheels. Would you run a set on your car? Let me know why or why not down in the comments, and also let me know what brand we should talk about next. If you have Weds wheels or any wheels on your car, be sure to upload them to our gallery. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to drop a like, a subscribe, drop a comment down below, follow our Instagram, follow our feed finder, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.